Okay, so it took me a while to go through what is it? Trump stages of grief? Is that what we should be calling it? Because it seems like all of us has went through the same thing. We started out, we were so heartbroken. Some of us could barely speak. Um, couldn't get our thoughts together. We waited until to try and get to the next stage or to feel less desperate, hopeless. Just our heart just broke and like it felt like 100 pieces for some of us. And then we kind of got to, well, we'll see how this goes. We'll see how we feel next. And then we got to the F around and find out. And there are some hilarious stories out there of what Trump voters are going through now. Some of them are slated to lose everything, and they may not realize it yet, but they're getting a taste of it yet so far. So, I of course had to write a list because I can't remember all the things I want to say, and I'm not brilliant as some of the people I've been listening to. I've been listening to Midas Touch, TYT Sports, Tennessee Brando. I just found him, and I enjoy watching him almost every day. Rebel HQ, I had been listening to. I've been listening for years to Jimmy Snow. He's one of the smartest men that I've ever listened to. I listen to Occupy Democrats. I used to, but every once in a while, but more lately, Jesse Dolomar. And Ring of Fire, I've been watching that off and on for years. And lately I found a Cher Henley, and I really enjoy her. She's really smart. So, there's two sayings that come to mind right now. History, if we don't listen to history, we are doomed to repeat it. So, why did we not listen 4 years ago? Why? Why? Why when Trump was elected 8 years ago, why did we not listen? And it's worse this time. So also, I'll say a quote later on. But I must say, I have been enjoying watching people cut their toxic Trump family out. These Trumpers cannot understand why we don't have anything to do with them. Why do we want to put so much hate and toxin into our lives and that's all their lives are like now? How did they get so brainwashed into that? And they had no idea. Like, we saw a lot of this coming that's fixing to come in the future. How did they not know? I am going to be laughing so hard when things like game systems go up to 40% and Trumpers get blamed for it. And Trumpers are going to be the ones to lose most of their jobs because of tariffs and everything. So some of the other stories we've heard, of course, are women divorcing their husbands, they're breaking up with boyfriends that are Trump people. But why would you want to be with somebody with that little morals and ethics and racist people and everything? We've most of us has heard of the granddaughters that disown most of their family members, and even grandma tries to get their mom to disown them for disowning them, and she's like, no, they're adult children, they have their own choice. I thought it was so funny. This uncle had 4 nephews and 2 nieces, and they were all set to inherit at least $2 million apiece when that he had left them in their will. And after the election, he goes to his lawyer's office, and he disinherits all of them except for the one niece that votes for president, the Vice President Kamala Harris. So she is going to end up with what, $14 million? That would have been $2 million apiece for all of them. And then there's a famous Fox newscaster. His mom uninvited him from Thanksgiving. There's people that have realized that they're going to lose their health care. They voted against Obamacare, even though they had insurance with that for years, and now they risk losing it. Of course, I thought at first that Fuentes being, Fuentes, the ugly, your body, my choice guy. Women like him so much that they ran him out of his house, and he's now living in his mother's basement. He actually had to blur his house on Google, and they still found it, and scared into where he's living in his mother's basement now. Not that any women wanted him anyway, but that was funny. And I laughed when Matt Gaetz had to withdraw his nomination for AG, because he's right up there with Trump as far as felonies, and probably once it's all over with, his child trafficking stuff and everything. Please release that report. Please release that report. I was going to say, things that we were expecting to happen, but we all know what Trump's policies are. So I'm going to say to these Trumpers that they don't understand why we've planned to cut them off. In the famous words of James Baldwin, we can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and my right to exist. So let's wait and see what happens after you F around and find out. And as someone I recently heard, we're going to sit back and see what the Trump voters, what they get out of this. And we get to say for the next 4 years, this is why, you're why our world is screwed up. You're why our country's screwed up. See you later.